第20队 ACES 发表主题 Menu for we need to defeat the pandemic.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are Team ACES. Today, we are going to talk about our topic, mental, which is what we need to defeat the pandemic. According to Cambridge Dictionary, mental is the ability and determination when doing something difficult. However, in our slides, mental stands for medical, education, technology, transformation, lifestyle, and environment.
Let us start with a brief information about the COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 stands for Coronavirus Disease of 2019, and it is first discovered in Wuhan, China, and it quickly spreads throughout the world, as you can see from this image.
Next, we will talk about lives during the pandemic. For medical aspects, hygiene practices and health and consciousness of individuals has increased, as well as further investigation in microbes and pharmacology. We also have few countermeasures in use, such as mask wearing, social distancing, promotions of epidemic defense knowledge, and the 14 days quarantine.
For education, we now have more free time to do extracurricular activities, and our skills of time management has improved a lot. Many college students have returned from schools abroad. And in Taiwan, students need to wear masks and record their temperatures at schools. For technology, the industry of artificial intelligence has expanded. Also, we can now see the timely pandemic data all over the internet. The elderly users of social media has increased, as well as the daily hours of usage.
Next, we will talk about the transformation on the global aspect. First, for business, there's a transition from working in office to work from home. Also, people are reorganizing the supply chains as well as there are some staggered work shifts. For economy, because of income reduction, people value their financial resources more, therefore they are spending less, and this leads to an economic stagnation with a lower interest rate and a higher unemployment rate. For diplomacy, foreign affairs solidarity had increased because of the cooperation between the countries.
For lifestyle, the pace of today's hectic world has slowed down, which means we have more time to spend with our family. Also, people are fleeing crowded cities to the nature or the countrysides. Although the capacity of public transportation has decreased a lot, we still have other innovations, such as drones and automatic vehicles. Less traffic leads to less demand in cars and petroleum. Their price would also drop too. Lastly, for environment, although there are more waste of masks and gloves, because people are now more staying at home and traveling less, there are less other pollutants and fewer crimes.
Next is the post-pandemic lifestyle prediction. After the virus, the developed countries will encounter great pressure in restarting economies, while developing countries will have problems in innovative approach. However, developed countries will recover much faster than developing countries. Companies in developed countries will also encounter more competitions. Some will even shut down, while a larger gap between the rich and poor will start to appear in the developing countries.
Well, now that I've learned about the problems and the issues, so how exactly can the pandemic be resolved on the medical aspect?
Well, cooperations between NHCC and institutions, as well as WHO and countries can help. Research and development of vaccines and specific antiviral treatments also play as an important role.
Well, is the pandemic changing the education curriculum in a good or bad way?
This year, there are lower requirements for university applications. Countries can also squeeze national education budgets for medical use. There are also lower physical attendance at schools. Oh, I'm also curious about how can we further prevent the virus from deteriorating.
Well, that's actually an easy question. question. We really need to stop spreading false information.
And I have a question for you too. How can we adjust to the condition of the pandemic?
That's a good question. The promotion of mobile payments are really important so that we keep in less contact with each other. Also, the rise in AI robots application would help a lot too. I have a question for you too. So, how can we help businesses that are struggling from the loss of COVID-19?
Well, by spending money in a tourable range and conducting business fair to attract consumers are two possible solutions.
Well, I would also like to know how we can fix the unemployment rate.
Well, in order to fix the unemployment rate, we will need the help of government policies and the websites for job vacancies and recruitment.
On the other hand, how can the conflicts between countries be eased?
Investigating cooperation and exchanging resources can improve the relationship between the countries. And I have a question for you. What habits will return to the society after the pandemic?
Habits such as tourism will return back to the society. The population in urban areas will start to increase again.
Then, will the transportation be the same before?
The capacity of transportation as well as airlines will start to rise. The petroleum price will also follow in the same trend.
Lastly, for environment, the period of the pandemic gives the forest more time to recover from deforestation. However, to cover up for lost profits, new settlements of large factories will make the air improvement to be short-lived. Therefore, climate change will continue to be a big challenge.
These are all the resources that help us during this presentation. We are all looking forward to a better future.